conferences and filed patents on innovation. I would now request Mr. Shrikant Shiralkar to kindly say a few words.
First of all, good afternoon to everybody, and I truly feel privileged to have come here and share whatever are my learnings, particularly around the area of business intelligence. I've crafted a sort of a presentation, but I would like to keep it more interactive and agile, so as to get you the benefit of participation over here at the Foundation Day for the Computer Society of India. I think thanks for the introduction. It covered all the parts, but I would like to highlight one part, is that I am not academically trained on computers, but was privileged that I grew up with the computer industry, and one of the few early SAP professionals in the country, and then had the privilege of helping SAP labs to set up their business intelligence team. And again, growing with the IT industry over here, I also learned the art of innovation and registering them and protecting the intellectual property. So that why I wanted to share this is the learnings that I will present to you on business intelligence. They come more from the business side than the technology side. Right. So I would cover my learnings into 4 topics, primarily dealing with some of the concepts, only some concepts. Then I would share some of the business environment that is driving the change or the technology change, as well as both are actually at interplay. So I'll share some of that, and then finally I would also share some of the trends, particularly around the business intelligence. Interestingly, some of the earlier, as Mr. Painse as well as Dr. Shivakumar were sharing, I think there is a growing acknowledgement of readiness of the students for the job, and I wanted to share that in US they have SAP Alliance universities, wherein the students actually have a curriculum on SAP. And why I know about it is one of my book is part and parcel of the curriculum, particularly on the business intelligence. So that's what I was sharing with the professor over here as well. So with the jargon cell, I think what I'll do is to keep it interactive, particularly to the students from first year or second year. Don't take it as a ragging session, but just whosoever knows data warehouse, what does it mean to you? If anyone from the students here? Okay, let me take at the next one, OLTP or OLAP. Anyone? No, raise your hand and share. Online analytical processing. Excellent, but that's an extended form of OLAP. Can you elaborate on it? Yeah. That's fine. What does it mean? Okay, you will come to know something which this you would realize that this highlights the fact which we were discussing just some time back, that we know all the jargons rightfully, but when it comes to explaining it, or to a business user who is completely tuned to another language, it is that's where rubber meets the road, and that's where the problem starts. Any takers on latency? I'll explain one by one each, but I'm just trying to gauge what's the kind of appetite over here. Anything on performance tuning? All right, I'll take one at a time in a very simple. I think perhaps from business orientation, I'll try to explain. The data warehouse, as the very name goes, it's a warehouse where data is managed in such a way that its storage as well as handling and then subsequently withdrawal happens in a very easy manner, or the most efficient manner. OLTP is the online transaction processing. Now, the word transaction here, it relates to, let's say, nowadays most of us use ATM. So an ATM, that withdrawal of money is a transaction. So, and it happens online, then it is online transaction processing. Now, OLAP is online analytical processing. So what it means is, the analytical part of that whole processing happens online at the real time, and that's where it becomes OLAP. Some of those jargons will come into next as we go deeper into the business intelligence aspect. Big data. Anybody heard about it? I was going to use even more fancy stuff like Hadoop or Pig, or even more Pentaho, or I know a lot of those names, but anybody heard about big data? Because that's the name that by the time you will graduate, you will hear about it. And as he was highlighting that 6 months, there is a change in the technology, and big data is today's world over one of the most fascinating aspects. Anybody? Big data is, see, today, you know how websites are getting opened. You know how social networking like Facebook or Orkut, or they are growing. They are all sources of data, and the rate at which they are growing is not manageable in the ordinary way that the data used to be managed earlier. So maybe you would have heard about cloud computing. So that the distributed file system, or all that whole stuff around that, is nowadays titled as big data. Performance tuning. This is about, let's say, when you click a button and you're on your computer, and your Excel file opens in 15 seconds. You do what they call as defrag on your laptop or computer. Then you do also delete all your temporary files, and then this Excel file opens in, let's say, 5 seconds. So what you did is a performance tuning activity. So in terms of business intelligence, or pull that jargon, that is performance tuning. There are a host of activities, or host of technologies available there. Data mining is about using the data and mining insightful predictions out of it, or insightful information which is otherwise hidden. It is not explicitly known. For example, if information about sales is stored and you take out information about sales, there is nothing you are getting extra out of it. But if you store sales and you are able to get or predict a sale in a specific geography, then it's data mining. And there are a host of algorithms over there, and a host of technology which are evolving. Dashboard. dashboard, reports, balance scorecard, there are too many concepts over there. But dashboard predominantly would mean that for a executive who will, or the business person who needs information in the right shape and form, and that too comprehensively putting into one console, is like a dashboard. So there could be indicators, like on the car dashboard you have a mileometer at what rate you are going. So maybe for a sales manager, he would get a rate of sale happening in a retail chain. Or you would, let's say there's an alert when a battery in a car, let's say dashboard blinks, that something is wrong. Same way in the dashboard in business intelligence concept, there are alerts. So dashboard has comprehensive actionable information packaged in a form that's available on the computer on the fly. ETL is a concept in business intelligence for extract, transform and load. This is the data warehouse activity or a process wherein from multiple sources the information is extracted, then it is transformed into, or it is so to say massaged in a form that it gets stored in an organized fashion in a data warehouse, and then it is loaded, that means that gets stored in there. So that is ETL. And query and reports is the outcome of a processing on that data warehouse, where you get when you query for some specific information and you get a report. There are many jargons. Anybody has something new, I would be very I would be happy, because I think OTL, OLTP and OLAP were the only one which he attempted. All right, let's move to the next slide. This is another phenomenon which I came across when as I said, I joined IT halfway through my career, and I remember my first day when I heard a couple of people standing near and they were talking about, yeah, do something in that table. And believe me, first day I was literally thinking that they are talking about a table like this. And then I started learning about keys, and then earlier which meant just a key, and then I started understanding what is a key. So I know jargon can completely put us into a difficult situation, because when you are communicating with a business user and if you use a language which is full of jargons, it doesn't go through. And that highlights that fact which was discussed some time back, that communication ability, switching from when you are interacting with a IT person versus when you are interacting with a business user, need to be completely different, and that's the soft skill that we need to apply. All right, here is one multimedia play I have inserted into the slide. So when it runs, listen carefully and you will understand why I have inserted and how does a business user, a very hardcore salesman, is not concerned about what's at the back end happening to his company. So just go through and then you will understand the business intelligence, how important and how critical role it plays in today's world. Can you run it?
Hey, super sales guy, Sal, how was your quarter?
ABI Brian, great. We totally crushed it in Ohio and Pennsylvania, like 31% above our sales quota.
Wow, that's really impressive. How'd you do that?
Huge promotional campaign for the Midwest, pushing our TX93s. Plus, we locked in 6 of our big clients in 3-year service deals.
Wow, 3-year deals on the TX93s, huh?
Yeah, only had to give them a 10% discount.
So, what did that do for your marketing budget?
Marketing? Ha ha ha, that's corporate's problem. Doesn't come out of my territory's budget.
And did you coordinate with Omar in operations? There's a manufacturing backlog on the TX93s.